Look, this is not a good time. We're not even together. Why would you want this?
This is not ideal for me either. But that's just not an option for me.
And welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Yes. Talking to you guys about Insecure episode 10, season finale. We're going to break down Issa and Lawrence relationship, body language, and we're going to break down the color schemes that were used as well. If you're new to the channel, do yourself a favor. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the what uploads. And for those of you returnees, then you know the motto already. You got the minerals, baby. I appreciate you guys. I know what it is. All right, cool. Are you mad? You lean? All right. So, where we see the opening scene with Issa and Lawrence, which is so interesting. We get to see them in an open market, and I said it contrasts to Molly and Andrew also in an open bar. We get in this, like I said, things that are normally said in secretive thoughts are never said in public. You know.
I'm so proud of you. This is so exciting.
That is definitely talking.
Okay. 5 out of 5.
We save our secretive thoughts for when we're in private, right? And so what we see with what we see with Issa and Lawrence is obviously Lawrence has come to meet Issa, and he's coming with good information. What's interesting that we first kind of see is that the hug that they have just shows you again a tight bond that they have. And the kind of great rapport that they have as well. And I think added on to that as well is the fact that with Issa and Lawrence, watch the color scheme here. We got shown a bit of this in the last, I think 2 episodes back, where we saw them at the art festival gallery, and you know, he was in a red zone, she was in a blue zone, and those colors mean something. You know, these colors actually mean something. So when we're now seeing him in a dark maroon red, okay, and she's in a dark green, navy militant green. Militant green oftentimes is used to blend in. It's unassuming. It's not gravitous. So it's not wanting people to gravitate towards it. It's a color that shows that the person doesn't want too much attention. It's really weird. It's a natural color. It's meant to blend in. So when she's wearing that dark green, there's almost an aspect which is that although she's a very bubbly person, out there, energetic person, she's unseen. And she's unseen, and we can get this whole feeling because of the whole season we've been going through, from the last episode especially as well now. There is this unseenness about her. There's nobody that's seeing her. Remember, everybody has detached from her. I think this is why she wore dark green through the whole episode.
Your family, your friends?
I can make new friends. I might need to.
Everybody else had, Molly had a change. She didn't have a change until we saw in the very last scene with her and Lawrence. But that was done on purpose. But up until that point, she doesn't change. She's wearing dark green all the time. Why? She's not seen. She's not seen, right? She's not seen. And so when she's wearing this dark green, it's very, very interesting, because then when he's wearing that dark red often means wealth. It means growth. It means, let me even get the colors for you. I loved it, the way they described it. It can mean wealth, maturity, prosperity, you know. It can also mean aggression, lust, and malice. But what we know from him at the moment is that he's got this maturity now. He's got now this growth. He's got this passion now. He's got even a wealth coming in, because now he's got this new job. You know, he's got this new way of thinking.
Me, my own team finally. I get a corner office. I even get an assistant.
Right? So when he's coming with that information and they put him in dark maroon red, it's on purpose. They want you to know that something great has happened. And now this dark red, this wealth and this maturity and this growth has found the person who's unseen. Do you understand? That person has found somebody who's now unseen, and they come together at this point. It's beautiful. I love it, man. And then the next kind of scene that we see them in, with Issa and Lawrence, we see Issa and Lawrence in the end scene. And I think this is really, 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 really important, because I feel like when you first kind of see them, you don't see anything of it. So yes, we get the whole situation where she hugs him at the door, and he comes in and you can see his face all downtrodden. What's really interesting is the fact that she's wearing black and he is wearing grey. Now, reason why it's interesting is because of the fact that do you know what, I called it before it happened. I don't know why, but the spirit must have been just in me. When I saw that he was when he was talking about Condola, I was like, if they go to a flashback, I bet you she's in white, right? Because the whole point is this: there's meant to be a spectrum. So it's gone from Issa black, him in grey, she's in white. Now I know people might say, well, but he's in both scenes, so he can't count for what it's done intentionally. They're not going to put the same t-shirt on, so they don't confuse you. So he's now in grey, right, in that scene with Issa, and then she's wearing white because he's in the middle. Grey is a colour of wisdom, it's a colour of neutrality. It's meant to be unassuming, it's meant to be someone that doesn't seek for attention. He's found himself in the middle of two women, okay, like he did earlier in the season, unintentionally. You understand? This is something that happened between him and Condola, and now suddenly that mistake or that lack of pull-out game has brought him to a point where now he stands in between two women. Okay? Now Issa's in all black. Black represents power, strength. It represents a mysteriousness. It can also represent evil. It can also represent death. It can also represent the end of something as well. It doesn't always represent something negative. And then white represents this purity, this innocence, I should say, strength as well, you know, and peace, right? And so we're going to see almost like a contrast between the two women, because really and truly, right now, Condola is not his peace. Right now, Condola is not innocent. You know what I'm saying? Although they're trying to portray like she's this innocent person now, has almost been taken aside by this person who's wearing, and in that scene it's funny as well, he's wearing black, right? The opposite. They're dueling in that particular thing, right? Because both of them have opposite views.
But that's just not an option for me.
Polarized views. He don't want the kid. My guy doesn't want the kid. He's confused. What was going on? I thought we were done. I thought we had our day. And she's like, no. And white. Another thing of white is hope. And you hear the hope in her voice when she's like, oh, you know.
I wasn't ready with Mark. But this time I want to keep it. And it's not like I don't want kids. I do.
You know, with Robert, I wasn't ready, but now I'm ready. That's the hope. I'm hoping that I want to have this kid. And not only that, she says that, you know, I don't mind if you're, and the innocence and the purity comes in, I don't mind if you're not going to be full and hands-on. Whatever level you want to be involved in, you be involved in, right? I mean, it won't last long. I mean, she will definitely not be saying that. There'll be some jealousy, trust me. You know, whatever level you want to be on, you be on that level. That's fine. I just wanted to just let you know that. And you notice as well her dress, even there was like wings coming for it. So it almost like she had an angelic kind of feel about her. Even the hair was, I don't really like the hair, I don't know what's going on. But that again is just kind of just put that whole angelic kind of frame going on, right? And so when it comes back to Lawrence and Issa in the room, as Issa's obviously wearing her black, the strength, the courage, the inner strength that she has, and you've seen his grey, which is the neutrality and the wisdom. The two of them are meant to blend and mesh quite nicely, right? But now you're seeing the other side of things, because once she gets information, her face changes, right? You see that obviously they keep a really good distance, got good proximity. They're looking at each other like they have a good connection. And the moment he says what he says. First of all, he drags it out. I don't know why he drags it out. I know because it's hard, but it's the way he drags it out. I mean, I would have assumed 100 million things where he dragged it out. And so that's dragged out. And then you see, obviously, Issa then respond by saying, I don't know, you see the scene change, right? The scene changes after him and Condola's conversation to now her sitting down. Because remember, they were both standing up. Very, very important. As he was standing up, you know, the information that was, before the information hit, she was standing strong. Now when she's sitting down, it represents the fact that she's now weak with the information, right? And you see him at first standing up. He's trying to remonstrate and say, hey, look, please, I need you, like, like, I don't want her, right? So like he's trying to remonstrate, trying to argue, trying to say, listen, babe, I only want you. And then she remonstrates back by saying, but you have a kid though. Like, fam, like, you want to be with her? You have a kid though. You understand? And then when you see Lawrence obviously come and sit down face to face with her, like I said, Molly should have come and done to it with Andrew. You're going to hear him say, what? I'm sorry. Why? Because you don't say I'm sorry from where you're standing. You say it from when you're closing the proximity, and also as well, you're at my level, right? You're showing me that we're co-equals here. I'm sorry for hurting you. I'm so sorry. My bad. To show her genuinity. Because before that, he was arguing from where he was. He was trying to, well, I didn't say arguing. He was fighting for her love, right? To say, listen, please don't turn away from me. Don't give up on this, right? And now when he's sitting down, he's saying, listen, my bad. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. You know? And that's very, very important. And we see with Issa's body language, so interesting. Remember I told you about her naivety. She's sitting on the chair and her hands are hugging herself. This is one of the, almost like a fetal position. Is it one of those, when we're young kids, we do these things, right? And it's showing her childlike innocence with the situation. Her happy-go-lucky behavior now is now affecting her. Like, she's not on that, she doesn't feel that no more. You know, and it's funny because obviously, you again in contrast, she's standing up and remonstrating, right? But when she comes down and sits down in a chair, she begins to explain her mindset. Why? You don't explain your mindset from standing. You explain your mindset from when you're sitting down and you're much more calmer. But because she wanted to hold her position, she stood up. Or she stood standing. And he sat down when the information became too much for him. He became weak. He surrendered his power. Right? And that's so interesting because obviously, like I said, you see the color schemes and the fact that she's meant to be this angel, almost like, and it's funny because, you know, the angel situation is also what happened biblically. It's almost like the angels coming with what? A message. So like, you know, angels are always painted as white. So now she's dressed up like this angel, almost wearing white. It's like saying the messenger's coming, the angel's coming with what? A message. And the message is what? I'm pregnant! You get me? So it's very, very consciously done, the way the director's done this. So in the scene where he's talking to Condola, at one point he's sitting down, he's sitting down with Condola, and then Issa's sitting down with Lawrence. So as he's delivering the message to Issa, she's sitting down. As the message is delivered to him by Condola, he's now sitting down. And then you're going to see the same thing happen again, a juxtaposition of, you're going to see Condola come to his level and explain her situation, and him come down and say sorry to Issa. Very, very well done by the director.
Not a good time. We're not even together. Why would you want this?
This is not ideal for me either.
And I'm not expecting anything from you.
I don't need to feel trapped. I don't need to feel this way. Her tone even softens, right? Because at this point now, I'm not trying to break you. I'm trying to get you to understand. When I sit down, I'm trying to get you to understand my viewpoint, where I'm coming from, what I'm feeling, what you're feeling. I'm trying to take it all in. But when I'm standing up, I'm holding my position, saying this is what I think, feel, and that's it. I'm not changing. But when I sit down, I'm willing to surrender. I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to discuss. So yeah, guys, it was a very, very, very emotional kind of episode. And yeah, a lot of things were going on. So guys, if you like what we do, make sure you comment down below. Leave something there as well. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads, baby. And you know what it is, baby. Alright. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. More love. Hey, don't forget you can watch the show like this on backworldtube.com. Appreciate you. Backworldtube.com.